Okay, so I'm playing around with the caged chord positions, just doing arpeggios for right now so that we can see how we can link these different positions together. The important thing that we need to do is keep the root note consistent. So I'm going to have my root note, I'm just going to do C major to start. So I can actually just play the C major chord. My root note is here, 3rd fret of the A string. Now if I go through and play each of these notes, that's our C major arpeggio. We're going C, E, G, C, E, G, and then repeats over and over. So all of these different positions, they're going to just have those 3 notes, C, E, and G. So right here, we have our root note on the A string. In the A position, we also have a root note on the A string, and it's going to be the exact same spot. So here, 3rd fret of the A string is my root note of a C. Now I can play this A position by kind of doing an A bar chord shape. And I'm actually playing a C chord because my root's on a C. I also have my root note up here on the G string, 5th fret, which is C. So anyways, go through these. C, G, C, E, and then G. So we have all of those notes again. Now we have a root note here on the G string. Just like in the G chord, we've got a root note on the G. So if this is the 5th fret of the G string, then this is also going to be the 5th fret. So I can put a note right there. Okay. If this is 5, we've got 6, 7, 8. So we also know that we have the 8th fret on the E strings. So if I start there, 8th fret, and then we can move to the 7th fret, and then 5, 5, 5, and then we end on the root note here on the 8th fret. So again, our root note is on the 8th fret if it's on the E string, so we go to the E position. Our root note is still going to be on the 8th fret. So I can play my E major power chord, the shape that's based off of the E major chord. We can kind of see that it looks like this. My pointer is just barring across this whole thing. And we've got our C major, our notes that we can do arpeggios with. Root note here is on the 8th, so this root note here is on the 10th, which means the root note in the D string on the D string is going to be the 10th because that's our C. So here's a C right there, and then if I go up 2 frets to our next one there, we've got our G, and then we've got our 13th fret here. That's going to be our C again. So we've got... That's how we can play through with the C major. Now after that, I would actually take this root note and move over to the C position. So since I was here on the 13th fret, now I move over to this thing. So if that's 13, the notes before it are 12. So I can go, that's 12, which makes this one 14. And with my root note 1 octave higher than I started. I started on 3 and I ended up here on 15. Now, if I want to change the key, all I need to do is change my root note. So I can take this C, which was the 3rd fret of the A string, and if I change it to the 5th fret of the A string, it's now on a D. So if I keep these notes all relative to each other, I can play the same arpeggio positions, the caged positions, but now in a new key. So instead of going 3, 2, 0, I'm now going to go 5, 4, 2. Okay, so it goes like this: 5, 4, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 4, 5. Keep the root note there on the 5th fret. Move over to the A. From there, I've got my root note here on the 7th fret of the G string, so that's my root note here. Okay, so now if that's the 7th, that makes these ones the 10th. So I got... Keeping my root note there, which is on the 10th fret, I move over to the E position. Okay, and then from there, I move over to the D position. My root note is just going to be on the 12th fret of the D string, which is, of course, an octave higher than the open D string. And then I can just play my D major shape, which is an octave higher than my D major shape down here. So whatever position you're going to play, if you're going to play in the C position, just make sure that your root note is in the key that you're going to play in. If you're going to play in the key of G, find a G on the A string. Find it on the 10th fret. Whatever key you're playing in, this will work. So anyways, that's it for today. Thanks for checking out my lesson.